Hi everyone, my name is Stanton Longoria, and welcome to Timeless Modern, my new channel. In today's episode, I will be teaching you how to make tostadas. I love this recipe so much. How to describe this recipe? It's comfort food for the responsible adult. And I know it's not fun all the time being an adult, but with this type of recipe, you can have all the fun in the world. It is gluten-free, it is guilt-free, it is delicious with healthier ingredients, healthier oils. And it's low calorie, high protein. It's a perfect food that everyone at the family table or your friends will love to eat. So let's get started. Growing up in Corpus Christi, my mom used to make tostadas at least once or twice a week, and I never got tired of it. It's just a perfect meal to eat, and I'll tell you why. So what I'm doing right now is that I'm just chopping up some cherry tomatoes. You can use any type of tomatoes that you want. I personally love cherry tomatoes. Now, see, you have that nice, lovely color of mixed. Cherry tomatoes usually have a little bit more sugar in them, but they taste fresh, easy to chop up, and they just look beautiful. Look at that rainbow coloring. It just looks fantastic. All right, so I'm just gonna put this off to the side real quick. I'm gonna get our spinach. Now, a little trick that my mom taught me. Now, if you have dinner guests arriving in less than, let's say, 50 minutes and you're just on the step, that's perfectly okay. Don't freak out. However, maybe you don't have the time to do this technique. In that case, just take your spinach, give it a chop, get it to a nice texture. It's going to look fine. It's going to taste fine. It's perfectly okay. But if you have some time to spare, check this out. Now, what I'm doing is I'm gathering all of the spinach and I'm trying to get all these little strands on one end, right? So come over here, chop them off, discard them, plant them. You can eat them. I eat them. Perfectly fine. It tastes like spinach. Perfectly fine. But discard those, have them all stacked like this, and just go. Look at that. Beautiful and elegant. It's going to look so great on top of your tostadas. How we do it is that it's the tortilla, it's the protein, it's cheese, then it's the spinach, then it's the cherry tomatoes, and then it's the option of putting any type of hot sauce, any type of dipping sauce, any type of, I love putting sliced avocado on top. I'll show you later, but I highly recommend this trick. Now, before I continue, and I'm almost done here, I will say a fun little fact about tostadas. So, as I previously stated, I am from Corpus Christi, Texas, and that is smack in the middle between San Antonio and Mission, Texas. So, that whole area is considered South Texas. Large Latin and Hispanic population. Now, as more and more immigrants over the last several generations have immigrated to Corpus Christi, or South Texas in general, if you go into any Mexican restaurant, any taqueria, any type of Tex-Mex restaurant, I guarantee you, if you want a tostada, they're not called tostadas. They'll be called chalupas. Now, a chalupa is, I believe, the meaning is boat. So a chalupa is a corn tortilla that is fried and shaped like a boat, aimed to hold a lot of contents and usually just cheese and meat and maybe something like that. I don't know, maybe some greens, maybe some sauce. I'm not too sure. But I've only had a traditional chalupa once in my life. It was pretty good. However, it means boat. Over the years, the name was just changed to chalupa. But it dates back as far as my grandparents apparently being kids. Now, what I find so interesting about this whole thing is I grew up my entire life knowing that a tostada is a chalupa. And it wasn't until I went to school in California that I realized everywhere in the United States, except South Texas, calls this dish a tostada. So I kind of felt like I was lied to most of my life, but just a little fun fact about it. A lot of the names for Tex-Mex recipes, and I could talk about this all day, but there's several different examples like that have changed course over the years and just been given a different description, a different name. Mostly because certain things like traditional tostadas, traditional chalupas, traditional sopapillas, traditional, you name it. It's different in Texas as it is in Mexico. Again, a lot of difference is Tex-Mex doesn't utilize as many vegetables as true Mexican cuisine does. The cheese is different. As Americans, we use more cheese. I can't say I disagree with that. However, it's just a little interesting facts that I picked up over the years. For the seasonings that are really going to hit your taste buds, utilize, I would say, 2 teaspoons of garlic, 2 teaspoons of onion, 2 teaspoons of oregano, and 2 teaspoons of paprika, 1/4 a teaspoon of cumin, 1/4 a teaspoon of cayenne. Be careful if anyone has heartburn. I personally love cayenne, but not everyone can handle it. And also watch out for paprika. Know who's coming to dinner, and if it's just you and you can handle the heat, go for it. What also helps gives this a little bit of flair is by adding 1 teaspoon of chili powder. And as you can see, there's a nice little hint of red within the meat and the pinto beans. Oh man, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so good. Now, try not to add too much salt. I start with a teaspoon of salt. Again, I know that sounds like a lot, but this is really going to make a lot of tostadas, and you really want this to blend in. Reasons why I like mixing my seasonings. Reasons why I like mixing my seasonings together and incorporating in once everything's smashed and grounded and already mixed. Last but not least, 1 teaspoon of freshly ground pepper. You can use peppercorn. I've done it with both and it's pretty great. I prefer black pepper just as a preference. But now we have it here. This is great. This probably doesn't look too appeasing right now, but I promise once it's dressed on a corn tortilla with our cherry tomatoes, our cilantro, and our spinach, and our cheese, it's going to look amazing. Okay, everyone, we're going to put this off to the side. You can either keep this on a very low heat, or you can just place a lid over it, put it off to the side. It will keep nice and warm. Remember, we are going to take corn tortillas and we are going to fry them up in a little bit of oil. And even if this isn't as hot as it was when it was fresh, I promise you it will keep warm. And once everything's coated together, it'll all come together. So just put this off to the side and we can continue. Now that we put our protein aside, now it's time to heat the oil to get ready to fry the tostadas. So we're gonna start with 1 cup of avocado oil. You don't have to ground the tortillas into this. This has to be leveled out in a nice skillet, just that every single side, both front and back, can get nice and crispy. Now while we're waiting and letting this oil get hot, there's a nice little trick that we do. What I like to do is I learned this from my mom actually. What I like to do is that you just wet the tip of your hands, spray it on top. If it sizzles back, that oil's ready to go. Now I'm just getting my tortillas ready over here. For those of you who are wondering, I use this brand from Sprouts. You should be able to get it at Sprouts. If you're in Texas, specifically Austin, you should find it at all of your H-E-Bs near you, but you'll definitely find this at Sprouts. We are using organic sprouted corn tortillas. You can use any tortilla that you like, of course not flour. It's not traditionally made with flour tortillas, but I will say what I love about this tortilla is that not only is it organic, the corn, not only is it organic, but you can really taste the quality in corn. I used to use Mission tortillas a lot, Mission brand, and I have nothing against that brand. It's a great tortilla. However, you can just taste the difference in quality over here. Do you hear that sizzling? It's ready to go. All right, now as you noticed, I did have my skillet on high medium. I put it down to low medium at this point. We are just going to coat this with oil and just let it get nice and crispy. Okay, this tortilla is almost ready. As you can see, it's nice and crispy on the sides. I just really want to get it more towards the middle here, so just place it right here. Be careful not to tear the tortilla. Just push it down like this. You can even move it around, really let it get coated with oil. Now to get the oil heated, I did have the temperature up to a high medium. It's now, once you are ready to put the tortillas in, lower the temperature to a low medium and just slowly let it fry. Perfect. As you can see right here, you see that beautiful coloring? Perfect. Just dab it out a bit, put it off to the side. We're going to continue with the rest of the tortillas. Pop, in you go. Just let it sizzle a bit. Now, you'll notice that the tortilla naturally flares up in the middle and the sides tend to swoop in. Make sure it doesn't get too scooped out. We're not trying to make an enchilada, which is literally the translation for boat. So we don't want a boat tortilla. Perfectly okay if it's a little caved in. It makes it easier for scooping in and placing in the beans, the ground beef. You almost want a taco-esque shaped tortilla, but the whole point is for it to be flat. So here you go. This is already cooking ahead. And as you can see, it's already starting to brown here on the side. I just love that sound. It's music to my ears. For those of you who are curious, I don't use canola oil or vegetable oil or grapeseed oil to fry my tortillas or anything for that matter. I use avocado oil. Most people don't realize this, but avocado has the highest heat tolerance for frying. Makes it the best oil to use for this type of thing. As you can see, that brown color that's happening, that's pretty much ready to go. So off to the side, let's do one more. And see, this one just came in together, and now it's swooping back over, making a dome shape. So I'm gonna try to flatten this out a bit. Again, perfectly okay if it is slightly dome shaped. Makes it easier just to put things in to put all of our ingredients in the middle, but you're not making an enchilada, you're also not making a taco. You wanna get this as flat as possible. So there we go. And see, even at low, medium heat, it's already frying up, so this is great. One of the best things about this recipe is that it's so simple to make, and one of the best things about this recipe is that it's so easy to make. It's also less time consuming in the kitchen. Sometimes, even though there are days that I like it, I love spending hours in the kitchen and making something from scratch. Sometimes I don't have the time, nor do I have the energy to be in the kitchen for hours. This, you could pretty much get it done within 30 minutes. Very easy if you have kids, very easy if you have people coming over last minute. Very easy if you are trying to impress people while also making something delicious that tastes like junk food. But you can dress it up and make it look elegant and elevated. Ooh. Okay, we're gonna flip this over. See, as you can see, most of this, it did not take long for this to start to brown, which is great. You don't want it to get too brown. You just want it to get nice and brown enough. The idea is for you to take a bite. You're supposed to crunch into the tortilla, and it's supposed to explode with flavors in your mouth. But you also don't want a chewy tortilla. You also don't want the tortilla to be chewy in the middle. You also don't want it to look too brown. And a brown tortilla does not taste great, so take my word for it. So this is pretty much ready to go. The best one yet. Now it's time to dress our tostadas. But first, you can use any type of Mexican blend. You can even get your own cheese to grade. I highly recommend doing that. If you go to Whole Foods, the best cheese blend, Mexican cheese blend that I think is on the market is Whole Foods 365 Organic Blend. It's 4 different cheeses and it is absolute perfection. Highly recommend it. So it's very simple. All you're gonna do is take as much filling as you want. Now, all I'm doing right here is just taking as much filling as I want. Like I said, this feeds a lot of people, or it could feed just a few people, but you can stack it. You can also put it away, and it makes a great snack for tomorrow. But you're just gonna spread this evenly around like this. Then, you take a bit of cheese. Sprinkle that as much as you want, or you could use a lot. And then, take your spinach. See how this beautiful spinach that we chopped up earlier? Take it, place it just like this. Take your cherry tomatoes. Place a few on top. Some people like to use heavy amounts of tomatoes. Some people don't like to use them. I think when it comes to cherry tomatoes, it just brings it all together. So I go a little heavy, and like I said earlier, I love using the rainbow color. Just adds a pop of that red, that orange, that yellow. It's great. Now here's what I like to do. I take a little bit of extra cheese just as a garnish on top, just for people to know, and you can never not have enough cheese in my opinion. For those with an allergy, I'm so sorry, you're missing a great thing. And then one last thing to do is take a little bit of cilantro, place it on top. Some people like heavy amounts, some people like light amounts. I love to mix it around and just put a nice little touch on top. And there you have it, a beautiful tostada. And of course, these aren't complete with some avocado. So here's what we're gonna do. Take it like this, take it in half. Peel the very end like this. Remember, we definitely want this outer rim of the avocado. Usually when you cut an avocado and you scrape it, you can use a lot of that, a lot of the inward skin that's connected to the outward skin. That is where all the nutrients are in an avocado, so don't waste those. And this just makes it look prettier. So, neat little trick. Slice it like this, and there you go. Now you can serve it like that to your guests, or take it. 1, 2, and a 3. And just gently put it on top. And there you go. You have it. Beautiful tostada. All right, everyone, we're at the end of the road here. I hope you enjoyed making this as much as I did. This is one of my favorite recipes, like I said. It's great for any business dinner. If you want to inspire or show off, if you have family members or friends coming over and you really want to impress, it never ceases to impress. However, if you just want a casual night to yourself or with a significant other, best elevated junk food you'll ever find or make. There's only one thing left to do. Honestly, no dish is finished without a little bit of lime juice. Enjoy, everyone. Guys, go out and make this quick. Let me know in the comments below if you like this or not. Have a good one.